Good morning. Excuse my grizzled appearance. It's been a very rough, grievous week from last week. There's been so much going on um, in the political and social world that I just felt compelled to comment. First of all, this crap with Trump. Why is the guy still alive? In the olden days, somebody would have shot him. I wouldn't. I'm not advocating he be shot. But you know what? They used to take out people like that. I say they. I mean, just crazy, wild anarchists, people like that. Um, and the thing of it is the sad thing about all this is that people like this guy. And why do they like this guy? Because he came on like a house of fire, and he was funny, and he acted like he was a strong man. If you go and you look at what he's been doing these last few weeks since it became apparent he was going to become indicted. You know, who knows when and where and how many? We don't know that. Meanwhile, on the mainstream media, cable media especially, it's just this constant pouring over and regurgitating and just so much redundancy when it comes to Trump and the problems that are there that it's ridiculous. It's gotten to be completely ridiculous. In fact, so much, well, I don't really watch that kind of news anymore because of that. And it's been like that for quite a while. I'm really pretty fed up with that kind of. On the other hand, it is necessary to keep abreast of all these things. There's a few YouTube channels in particular, like Midas Touch, like BTC, Brian Cohen. Um, those channels, along with the Young Turks. So the Young Turks are a lot more. They're more to the left than the other two. The other two are really, well, the other two are not on the left. They're Democrat. They're Democratic Party pundits. Now, the beauty of it is, though, is over at the Turks, they don't cut anybody any slack. But they're too fair, in my opinion, and they're too nice, in my opinion. Um, the whole violence thing. Back in the olden days, the left committed violence. I'm not advocating that. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do, but the left committed violence, and this is what people who remember what other people don't remember correctly try to purport on us. That the left are all these really violent, terrible. And yeah, there was riots at some of the BLM protests, uh, events like that resulted in looting and burning and all that. And that's not okay. That type of violence is not okay. Destroying property is not okay. And the whole problem is endemic in our society, and it's capitalism. I don't care what anybody thinks. You may love capitalism, and why do most people like capitalism? Because they think that it allows them to survive, and in some cases thrive. In about 10% of the cases, it's about thriving. Yeah, without capitalism, I wouldn't have any money. I wouldn't have any security. I wouldn't have any of these things. Well, think about the 25 or 30% of the population who doesn't, who are in poverty, who don't even have enough on each paycheck to live from paycheck to paycheck, who have to pay exorbitant prices if they can afford it, rent. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous what's happened in society. And it's realtors, property managers, property holding companies that are the problem. Housing should be a limited profit center, in my opinion. Limited. Only so much could be made off selling and reselling housing. Most housing needs to be affordable, even for the most poor people. That means there needs to be a lot more government sponsored housing. Now, there's a way to do that that doesn't involve the hated federal government. And here's another problem. So too many people have been conditioned to hate the federal government. Well, there is corruption in the federal government. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the bureaucracies in there have been infiltrated and polluted and poisoned by the bullshit. And what I mean by bullshit is there's a lot of bullshit out there with the lobbyists, with the donors, with those types of things. Now, these politicians will swear up and down that they don't pursue the donors. Bullshit. Bullshit. They pursue what the people want maybe 40% of the time, and the rest is what the donors want. It's not the real majority of their constituents. They don't do it. And that's true with Democrats, with the Democratic Party people, and with the Republicans. Republicans are worse, no question about it. They're much more criminal. They're much more corrupt. They try to get away with it more. Democrats, some Democratic people make the mistake of getting engaged in things like that and being sloppy and getting caught when it's not okay that they did it. That's the main problem. It's not okay what they did. So you guys need to take a look at this. And then also what I want everybody to take a look at is ever since the turn of the 19th century into the 20th century, the Republicans have turned into this weird conservative, it's not even conservative, it's reactionary, this weird party of greedy bastards. And that's what they are. They're greedy bastards for the most part. A lot of people are afraid, so they run to the Republicans. The Republicans are going to save us because we're not going to get taxed that much. Bullshit. What happens? For the most part, what happens is that the bulk of the taxes are paid by the 90%. The 90% pay the bulk of the taxes. Now, I'm in the upper 20%, so, I guess I'm safe on that one. But here's the thing. The bulk of everyone, of all of us, pay most of the taxes. There is over 40% that paid no tax because they don't have the fucking income. Right? Right. And everybody's worried, the rich people are worried that you're going to tax the fuck out of their income, so they're not going to have any money. Well, we know that's bullshit. The problem is they have all this investment income they don't get taxed on. Yeah, that's right. They have all these assets they don't get taxed on. So that's a big problem. They need to have the hell taxed out of them. Yeah, they do. They need to just get taxed. Okay, they'll leave the country. Well, good. Then they can donate their properties to the public, or better still, they can pay really high taxes on all this stuff. Very high, 90%. And what's that going to do? Well, with a lot of oversight and with proper funneling of the funds, it can mean a great lifestyle for the vast majority of the people. I mean, look at what they've done, over in Scandinavia, for example. Okay, so everybody whines and complains about the level of taxes. Well, guess what? They got a lot of services because of that we don't have. They have universal health care. We don't have that. They take care of their old people. We don't have that. Some of these societies like Finland virtually don't have any homelessness. Right. Property ownership has been made into this fucking commodity. Okay, it's a ruse. It's a scumbag commodity. It should not exist as a commodity. Housing should be available to all, regardless of income. That's right. It's a need. It isn't a source of income. Now, look, I tried my hand in that game. I did okay. I came out in the black, okay, on the profit side of the ledger. However, as I've watched this whole scenario unfold for the last 50 years, it's not something I want to engage in or be a part of anymore. Not at all. Not at all. I don't believe in that. Taking profit off of people who need a place to live, who need shelter, is disgusting. And you realtors out there, you're one of the most disgusting, despicable breeds of salespeople in the world. Not all of you. Some of you are real. I mean, I have realtors who are friends, and they're really nice people, and I really like them. And they make money off of other people. That's what they do. Okay. However, if that got put into a more of a fairness type of situation, they'd have to sell more. They might make more money, probably make less money, but it wouldn't be such a sought after profession. And yeah, it takes a lot of work to make a lot of money. It does. I know all this about real estate. I've been around it for too many years, and it needs to go away.